Okay, so how about a little mini lesson on solving systems of three equations, three unknowns? Okay, we've been working on this during class, but I figured I'd put one in the tutorial section of Schoology for you. Okay, so here we have a 3 by 3 system. So we need to commit to getting rid of one of the variables to begin with. Remember, our strategy is to go from a 3 by 3 system down to a 2 by 2 system, and then ultimately a 2 by 2 system to a 1 by 1 system where we can solve for a variable. Okay? So I'm going to commit to getting rid of z's to begin with. Okay? So if I combine the first and the third equation right now, the z's will drop out nicely. Okay? So combining the first and the third, I'm going to end up with 3x's plus 5y's, no z's, and that's going to equal 1. Okay, so I want you to put that equation on hold. Okay? Okay, now we need to combine another pair of equations in such a way that we get rid of another variable, and we want it to be z, okay? So I'm going to combine the first two equations this time. Okay, but it's not as simple in this one. Okay, the z's don't automatically drop out when I combine. I'm actually going to need to multiply both equations by something. So I'm going to multiply the top equation by 3 and the second equation by positive 5. That way I'll end up with negative 15z and positive 15z. Okay, so multiplying the top equation by 3, I'm going to end up with 3x plus 12y minus 15z equal to negative 21. Multiplying the second equation by 5, I'm going to end up with 15x's plus 10y's plus 15z's equal to 35. So now if I combine those two, I have 18x's plus 22y's, no z's, and that's equal to positive 14. Okay, so my first goal is complete. Okay, I have gone from a system of 3 equations, 3 unknowns, down to a system of equations that's 2 equations, 2 unknowns. So now I need to work with the red and the blue and decide which variable to get rid of. So I'm going to get rid of x's. So kids, if I decide to multiply the red equation by negative 6, okay, that'll give me negative 18x's minus 30y's equal to negative 6. I'm going to leave the blue equation alone. So 18x's plus 22y's equals 14. So now combine those. You end up with no x's. You end up with negative 8y's, and that's equal to positive 8. So guys, we've gone from 3 equations, 3 unknowns, to 2 equations, 2 unknowns. Now I'm at 1 equation, 1 unknown. I can solve this puppy for y. Divide both sides by negative 8. I end up with a y value of negative 1. Okay? So, you think to yourself that you're done, right? And of course you say, no, I got to plug that back in. Okay, I have to solve for x, y, and z. So we're going to take that y value and we're going to plug into any of the equations that have 2 variables in there. 2 variables is what we're looking for, okay? All right, so an equation that has 2 variables in it. I'm going to go with the red one, okay? So our y value is negative 1. So we have 3x plus 5y, which is negative 1, equal to 1. So we're going to have 3x minus 5 equal to 1. Okay, so that means 3x will be negative 6, or actually positive 6, right? And if I divide both sides by 3, x comes out to be 2. Okay, so now we have an x and we have a y. Okay, we have an x and we have a y. All we have left is to find that z value, right? Okay, so let's do that. We're going to take the x and the y, we're going to plug it into one of the originals and find z. I'll just plug into the very first equation. Okay, so x plus 4y minus 5z equals negative 7. So x, which is 2, plus 4y, which is negative 1, minus 5z equals negative 7. So we have 2 minus 4 minus 5z equal to negative 7. So that means negative 2 minus 5z equals negative 7. So negative 5z will be equal to negative 5. And if negative 5z equals negative 5, that of course means that z must be positive 1. Okay? So our z value is positive 1. So we have an a value, or we have an x value, sorry, a y value, and a z value. Now guys, remember, how do we close the deal on this? Make sure you write your answer as an ordered triple, and I'll even make a special slide for that. The answer to this system is the ordered triple 2, negative 1, 1. Okay? So guys, if you're having a little trouble solving systems that are 3 by 3, hopefully this problem has helped.